Jag vet inte om du också ser siffran här uppe i hörnet. Eventuellt om det är någon där eller inte. Det står 0 just nu. Men jag ska skriva på Twitter också så ser vi.
Jag ser bara att det räknar upp många sekunder vi har varit live.
Okej, då kanske det bara jag som ser det.
Ja.
Vad tyckte du om ceremonin överlag? Invigningen och så?
Jag tyckte det var fint. Det var mindre tekniskt än jag hade förväntat mig. Jag tror att det var mer så här typ massa effekter, lite så här typ kopplingar till anime och manga och sånt där, att det skulle vara lite mer sånt också. Så det blev jag lite förvånad att de inte gjorde, med tanke på att det är typ så som hela världen känner till och är Japan just nu, anime och manga. Så det var jag lite förvånad över.
Men jag har för mig att slutceremonin, alltså avslutet, det brukar vara lite mer typ populärkultur och liknande där. Så att det är lite mer chill och lite mer avslappnat och kanske feststämning och kanske musiker man känner till och liknande också.
Ja.
Så har det varit innan i alla fall, har jag för mig.
Det tror jag skulle bli jättekul. Jag vet ju inte riktigt. Det enda som var typ var det här filmgänget. Jag har ingen aning var det kommer ifrån. Det här killen med typ mörkgrönt hår som höll på.
Jag tror jag missade det. Jag såg inte hela. Jag såg delar bara.
Ja, för det förvirrade mig jättemycket. Det var bara, jag tror att de skämtade om journalister eller någonting. Men det var, de sa aldrig någonting utan de pekade bara åt alla håll och höll på. Så jag var ju så här, jag förstår inte riktigt.
Nej. Och jag tyckte det var så kul på inmarschen. För bakgrundsmusiken var typ spelmusik.
Ja.
Då hade de Kingdom Hearts och det gjorde mig glad.
Där är ju lite så här, lite koppling till det där. Så det tycker jag är bra.
Ja, nej, men det finns nog dolt i det mesta. Men som jag förstod det ville de också ha lite mer avskalad ceremoni på vissa sätt. Både för att inte det ska bli allt för pampigt och stort. Men också kanske antagligen på grund av situationen också, tror jag.
Jag tror ju också, tyvärr så förlorar de ju jättemycket pengar på att de byggde alla arenor och nu för ingen publik. Att de planerade ju jättemycket, alltså det var ju en arena de hade 70 000 platser. Så jag tror ju att det är också typ en kostnadsfråga. De kan inte riktigt köpa på sig för mycket och göra det jättepampigt och jättestort så som de vill ha det, för att de ska bli av med jättemycket pengar.
Precis.
Och så.
Hi, I think... Nej, okej. Det var någon som var inne, tror jag, men kanske blev bortskrämd att det var svenska. Men vi kan fortsätta diskutera på engelska och så märker vi ifall... Okay, yeah. Well, keep up what you were saying so we don't scare others away if they join in again.
I don't remember really what I was saying. I just thought it was like very like understandable, that whole thing, and I think it's really cool that the architect created like all of the arenas are by wood, like all of it is like done by wood or with wood. Like, wow, no plastic and stuff like that, which is like more common.
Yeah. Hello, I see that someone joined.
Hello.
Feel free to write in the chat if you'd like. Also, we will continue to speak English now. We had a moment when we spoke Swedish, so sorry about that if you saw it. But yeah, so...
And please let us know what you're reading.
Yeah.
It would be very interesting to see. And like what prompts and stuff.
Yes. Hi, Julia. Hi. Yeah. Kevin, would you like to talk about how you've been doing with the OlympicsAthon so far?
I have finished 2 books so far. Origin and Host. I just thought they would be kind of fun to start with Host and then do Origin.
Nice.
I gave both books 3 stars, so not so successful so far.
Mm-hmm.
One of the books, like I mentioned in the previous live, that one book had 90-page long chapter. Like the book was like 170 pages long. It had 4 chapters. 170 pages and 4 chapters is like too long, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that.
And the second book was from like 5 perspectives, but it was one narrator. And everything was I said, you know, and I was like, I have no idea who this is, because like, everyone, one voice, the same kind of perspective. Like if they at least mentioned the name of the character, I would be like, oh, okay, so it's this one. I had no idea who were we following and stuff. So I was very
confused. Oh, that's a bit disappointing.
Yeah. I think in that case, like, I love when books with like Six of Crows, the audiobook has like a person for everyone, a narrator for every, and I love when it's like that. That it's not just a female narrator for all the female characters, a male narrator for all the male characters. That it's instead, you know, a different for everyone. I like that. Because then at least you can remember the voice and be like, oh, it's this person who's talking right now. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah. How have you been doing?
I've been doing quite all right, I would say. I also have finished 2 prompts. So I finished the fire prompt and the Paralympics prompt, which is super exciting. So I read With the Fire on High and also the Bride test, and both have been great. I think I've given both like 4 stars, close to 4.5.
Yeah.
So yeah, really happy with those reads.
That's
so
awesome.
today I think I'll actually read Fence, but I only have it like on script, so I'm gonna read it off my phone. So if you see me sitting with my phone, I'm reading. I'm not doing anything else. But yeah,
I
think that's my plan for now.
Yeah. I didn't know.
What do you plan on reading? Do you have? Yeah.
I'm going to read Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe for Africa. I just keep doing the continents. I don't know why. Like I didn't even plan to do that. I just like, the next book I want to read physically.
Yeah.
Hope that it will. So the first book was physically. The second was only audiobook. So it's okay. I want to read one physically again. So I'm going to read Africa. That's nice.
Yeah, no, but that's really good. And to the people that are watching, please let us know if you're reading anything and what you're reading and how you've been doing with the readathon so far, if you're even participating in the readathon. But yeah, just let us know in the comments if you'd like. But yeah, I think my next read will also be for one of the like continents or either the translations, because those are the books that I have physically. So I think that would be my next read. We'll see how long it takes me to read Fence, because it is a graphic novel, so it might be fairly short. We're gonna have to see. But yeah. But I thought that perhaps we can start with like a smaller sprint. So I can put up the timer and we could read for, what would you like 15 or 20 minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it at 20 minutes, if that's all right then.
Yeah.
And so I'll see if I manage to share the screen. And then like so. Can you see the screen now?
Perfect.
Okay. So a 20-minute sprint to start with, and then we'll just go back and catch up. Okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go. Good luck. Happy reading.
Good luck.
Yeah. And you're just mentioned you're able to mute yourself if you'd like, Kevin.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Hello.
Hi. How did it go?
For me, it went pretty good. I'm like halfway through the graphic novel already. Yeah, it's a very quick read. So I think it's about 100 pages long. Cause I'm reading it off my phone. For those that are curious, that's why I'm looking at my phone. I'm reading Fence, the graphic novel.
You have access to this graphic novel, which is
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, I didn't know.
that's really good.
Yeah.
They have so many cool things. They have a lot of things on Scribd. So yeah. How did you do, Kevin?
I read 10 pages. So
That's good.
yeah, like for a novel with just a lot of text, it's nice. It's progress. So it's one chapter done, which is always nice.
Yeah. Any initial thoughts about the book?
I think it's really interesting. Like the only things that I really know about Africa is from like after colonialization, you know? Because like we didn't really learn about Africa. Like I have technically never had geography. I thought that Mount Everest was in France until I was 18 because I never studied geography in school. So like that is also like I come from a very small town and the school wasn't good because no teacher wanted to teach at that school. High criminality and stuff in that place, so not so nice. But so I just always find it so interesting when I read books. Like books is my main way of learning. So reading about like this is a book also that is very important in like African literature. Things Fall Apart is the book I'm talking about for those of you who may be new to the live. But I just find it so interesting that it's from like a pre-colonial Nigeria, what it was like in Nigeria and like living there in like the tribes and stuff before colonialization. I just think that's really cool to learn about. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree that you can learn so much from books, like both bigger and greater and like more important subjects, but also like the smaller ones, the not as, I don't know, like big questions, I guess. Like, as I said, I'm reading Fence and I'm actually learning about fencing. They're talking about like the different rules and how to do it and such, which is great also now for the Olympics. So I can watch fencing later and understand the rules now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll check some of the comments. Some more people have joined us. Jenny joined us before. Hi, Jenny.
Welcome.
Helen said morning.
Morning.
Yeah. Nice of you to just stop by. It's really appreciated. So thank you. Hi. Good morning. I think it's morning for most of us. Maybe all of us are drinking coffee and such. I am. Just make coffee, and in the next print, I'll read The Aristotle Quest, Black Market Truth by Sharon Kay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think of it once you start it. Really cool. Just finished my host prompt and trying to decide what on next. Firekeeper started for fire or still life for flag? Ooh. I don't know about still life, but I've heard amazing things about Firekeeper's daughter, I think.
Yeah.
That could be a good one. Cool. I think I might also pick up, since I'm close to finishing my my graphic novel already, I might pick up one of my physical books, but I have not decided on which one. Let's see, what were my options? I think I might read the Gilded ones for Africa as well. Africa and the Flag Prompt.
Yeah.
I might pick that one. Did I see a cat run by before?
Yeah. I have two, and they are extremely curious whenever I do something that does not involve them.
Oh.
So while I was reading, one of them was like, I want to like pet your book. So she was just like really crazy about the book. So
cute. What are their names?
My older one is called Lucy.
Yeah.
Like lus in Swedish and an I, so not the English.
Oh,
Um,
interesting spelling.
yeah, she was born in Norway, and then
Okay.
the old owner came to Sweden, became homeless, and she was put in my care. So that's why she has the Norwegian spelling of the name Lucy instead of the English.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
see.
And my second cat is called Athena, which is like the Swedish name of Athena, the Greek goddess, which I think is
Cool.
very fitting for the whole thing.
Definitely. It works out great.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're going for Firekeeper's Daughter. Great choice.
Yeah.
And yes, the cover is very, very stunning. I agree with that one. You also have to keep us updated with what you think of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, we were talking a bit before, also at the start of this sprint, about like the ceremony. So if any of you watched the ceremony, I would just love to know your thoughts about it.
Yeah.
I sort of watched it, like I was at work, but I tried to glance at it, and then when I was in the car, I just listened to it and so on. But like, I got so emotional. I'm a very emotional person normally. And like when they did the like Olympic oath and the athletes were
Yeah.
speaking, and like when they um had the relay with the torch and such, that gets me quite emotional. So I was almost crying listening and watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I don't
thought
know.
it
I
was
think it's so nice.
Yeah. I thought it was like very beautiful when it was like the three old men, the old baseball players, and one of them couldn't walk.
Yeah.
uh, like instead of one of them just doing his own thing, walking with the torch, one he kept walking with them, and the other one like took an arm around, and like they took their time, and I thought that was really like nice. And you saw that when they handed over the torch, that man who was injured, like he was so like touched, and like you could see on his face that it meant so much to him that he got to do that he got to be like a part of that, even though he was injured. Like I just felt that was really, really beautiful to see. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. You could also see like they showed some clips before when the torch had traveled around Japan, and
Yeah.
like some of the people that got to run with the torch on the streets, they also got very emotional because of it, because it's a great honor and it means a lot to like the world and to sports and the country and everything. So yeah, those are the things that get to me. Like talking
Yeah.
about it now, I even feel myself getting emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh, which sport are you watching right now, Jenny? If you have Olympics in the background, because I
They're
know
like
that they're like
sports all the time.
multiple on. Yeah, like and they're parallel as well. So depending on the channel and what's airing and such, you
Yeah.
can basically watch anything. Oh, yeah. No, I think it was very nicely done. I really appreciated the opening ceremony, actually.
I think
Yeah,
also
it's good.
like the fact that Naomi Osaka was the one, like as a biracial Japanese woman, like
Mm,
also someone who struggled with mental health for like most of her career, that she was the one to, light the flame was like
yeah.
so cool just to see. Because she is very young and she has been open about her struggles with mental health, and she is like a very up and coming, like she's going to be the best tennis player,
Mm, yeah,
you know.
definitely.
Yeah, so that she got to do that also as like someone whose dad is black, and who she is black too. But like as someone who's biracial as she is, I just thought that was kind of like really cool to see.
Mm,
Because like she's been open about her struggles and stuff. So I was just like, oh my God, she got to do that. Like that's such a huge thing. It was just like really nice to see.
yeah. And they talked a lot about how they're trying to aim for more equality in these games, and like they added it to the oath as well.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know about other medias, but I know that the Swedish media talked a lot about how they've also tried to like clean up amongst the different people that work with the Olympics. So those people that sort of messed up and had some wrong statements and such, that they got fired. And yeah, they're trying to keep it clean, and like
Yeah.
I think they're really trying to work for this more open-mindedness within the Olympics and also in Japan. And yeah, a lot of the things that happened at the ceremony reflected that, I feel like, which was really cool.
And
Yeah.
also like that the refugees got their own team. I thought it was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like that was really cool to see.
Yeah. No, that's also a thing that's been implemented throughout the last few years. So yeah, I just love how sports makes like people and countries and such come together as well. I think that's really important, and that you can kind of cross the borders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good time.
I think that my favorite segment, like even though like the whole ceremony was absolutely fantastic, I loved the blue dude who did like the poses. I don't know if you
I think
saw.
I missed that.
Yeah, like
I might
that.
have to rewatch some parts.
Yeah, you should like that. He did like the pictograms, you know, like the different sports have their own symbol. So he was dressed in blue, and they had like 5 seconds to do each, and he was just like striking poses, and that was
I
just
love that.
hilarious. Like
Oh
I
my
like
God.
that was so fun to watch. Like the creativity of how they did it, and like I loved it. I loved it.
Amazing. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I definitely need to rewatch that.
Totally recommend.
Cool. Awesome. Oh, yeah. Okay. Should we go for another sprint, perhaps?
Yeah, sure.
Should we do like a 50-minute one? So we'll get back at basically almost the whole hour or something.
Aim
Yeah,
for
at
a
11.
longer one, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, a 50-minute sprint. Oh, we had Ilya right here. I'm proud of each of the athletes that participate. Me too.
Yeah.
It's so important. And also, like, I really appreciate that they do it with the Olympics, that like for some countries, and you need to qualify, but like for the smaller countries, they do allow participants even if they can't qualify to the like, yeah, with the actual scores and such, in order to get a very diverse group of athletes. And I think it's so important for especially those smaller countries to see representation and see that, oh, here's this one person from my tiny island and he can compete in the Olympics, and so can I. And yeah, I really love that as well. So it's a huge deal to even qualify or even be in the Olympics, and it's a huge deal to even make it there, which is incredible. They talked about it now in the gymnastics part, that we had a Swedish male participant for the first time in like 29 years. And he was so disappointed because he made a mistake, but it's still such a big deal that he's even there. And it's very important for gymnastics in Sweden, for the male gymnastics. So that's still very cool.
Yeah, I feel like also there are a lot of sports that you don't really see normally. Like I've never seen baseball in my life, but it's still a sport that is popular around the world. So I think if ever Sweden would compete in like baseball in the Olympics, people in Sweden would be like, "Oh, that sounds fun."
Yeah.
And that is like something that I find so important, that when you see someone from your country or your countries compete, because then you're like, oh, I can watch this. And then maybe you get interested in, oh, that looks fun. And you want to do it too. So like having that inclusion is so cool and so important for like the countries and the people, the children, you know, all of them.
Yeah. It's actually like the Olympics is the reason why I got into athletics, track and field when I was younger, because I watched the 2004 Olympics in Athens.
Yeah.
And I watched our Swedish participants compete in track and field, and we won a lot of golds. And we had like Carolina Klüft who won the heptathlon and such. So that's actually what made me want to get into track and field, because it looked so fun and cool, and I was so inspired. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Oh, hugs to you too. It's sweet. Okay, let's go for a 15-minute sprint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on the timer once again.
Yeah.
So you have it all ready. 15 minutes. Oh, nope. 15 minutes. Okay, let's go. Good luck.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. How did it go?
I just finished, like right on the second.
Good job. What
Yeah,
do you
thank
think about
you. No, it was sweet.
it?
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm curious to continue with the other volumes too. I don't typically read graphic novels, so it is like sort of a new sort of format for me in some ways. But yeah, it was cute. I don't have that much to say about it, but good first impression at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
How about you?
um, I really enjoy it so far. Like we're still learning about like everything, how everything is going, and about like the family of our main character and stuff. Okonkwo. We're learning about like
Hmm.
the family and what is usually how things work in this tribe and stuff like that. I think tribe is the correct word in English. Stam. I don't. I think
Yeah, I think
yeah.
so.
Okay. So like the tribe and how things work, and I think it's really interesting that they're drinking palm wine. I had never
Ooh.
heard about that. Like like just learning about those kinds of things, that palm oil and palm wine is like a big thing that they have while eating. I just found
Yeah.
that like very interesting to learn those things too. So we're
Hmm.
still learning about like how everything is working, but I really enjoy it so far.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. How did everyone else do? Let's see. Jenny, completely distracted watching the men's gymnastic qualifiers. I get that.
Yeah.
If I weren't in this live, I would watch that too, to be honest. I think it's so cool. Like the coolest thing, honestly. The gymnastics. It's like there's so much strength and discipline and like all those tiny muscles and balance and everything. It's insane. I don't
Yeah.
know how they do it.
Like I am so incredibly impressed. Like, like everything that they do, like with the rings on the like the thing, like oh my god, how
Yeah. Yeah, it is so difficult. Like I could never.
like
I've done the rings at PE back in
yeah,
school, but like it looked completely different.
yeah, and like if I remember correctly, a lot of the gymnastics are still teenagers. Like a lot of them are still very young, I think.
Yeah, I think it depends. When I looked now, many were like between 20 to 28, I think
Yeah,
actually, at least for on the male side. Perhaps the women needs to be or can be a bit younger, but I
yeah,
think perhaps men need more strength, possibly, like to build up their physics a bit more, maybe.
I
But they
I
still need to start out at a very young age, nevertheless.
yeah. I know like I've been in New York City like 10 years ago, and we
Hmm.
were walking past like this big center for gymnastics, and we saw 8-year-olds with six pack. And I was like,
Yeah, that is very true, though.
yeah,
I think I've seen that
like
too.
yeah. And like the things that they could do at 8, like I can't, I've never been able to do. And I was
Yeah,
just like, oh my God. Like
yeah.
wow, just like really wow, that is so incredible, the amount of work. Like you can really see that when you look at them and everything that they do, how much
Hmm.
work has gone into doing every single thing that they do. Like it's like it's absolutely fantastic. It's yeah.
Yeah, years of practice and discipline and all that, definitely. Alea, I read 7% of the book. It's
That's
a
good.
romance novel. That's amazing. What book are you reading? Is it good? Are you enjoying it? You read 10 pages.
That's good.
Awesome. That's also really good. That was the Aristotle something book, I think.
Yeah.
Let us know what your initial thoughts are of it.
Yes. If there are any
Cool.
like book that you're reading that you feel like this is a book that people should read more of, like please let us know so we can check those out and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm constantly adding things to my TBR. Also
Same.
during the previous live, when there were a lot of talk about like which book was it? Like the Spellslinger books and stuff. I added those to my TBR, and yeah, it's just fun getting recommendations always. I think it's awesome actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we, like everyone participating, we have a good variety of books that everyone are reading due to the prompts, and like everyone reads for different continents and translated books and stuff. So that's really cool.
Yeah. You get like with the prompts, it's very like diverse. Like you can take those prompts like fire related, like there is everywhere, like fire on the cover or fire related word. Like there are just so many to choose from. So and
Yeah.
like the whole thing with like translated works for people who I think are from countries where English is the first language, it's kind of like challenging to find books that are translated to English. While
Yeah.
us, like currently I'm reading a book in Swedish and it like
Exactly.
translated. So I just
Yeah.
think that's really cool, and that like everyone is kind of from everywhere also doing this, which is also very yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, Amanda.
Morning. Hi.
Elia, you're okay. The Marriage Trap.
I have heard about that, I think. What do you think about it?
And you're on page 186 and you love it. That's incredible. How cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, speaking of, I think we're at like almost 30 countries, maybe like 26, 27, like that we are representing in this Olympics-a-thon, which is really cool that there's so many countries. And I'm trying to like keep track of scores a bit as well. So it's fun to see what people are reading and how it's going and stuff. It's still early in the readathon as well. So, but yeah, that people have already started to track books and stuff is really cool, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can see how many countries, if I have it available on my sheet.
Do you have also like how many people, like which is the most common country to represent?
Yeah, I think, or I've been able to see it, and it's Great Britain has the most actually. And then I think I actually counted it the other day because I wanted to make sure that I had the right number of participants and all. So Great Britain is the most, and then USA. Then Sweden are a few. Brazil and Philippines are a few as well. Canada.
Cool.
But we have a lot of variation, which is really amazing. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think we're at perhaps 29 countries. Yeah, 29 countries.
Wow.
Or nations. Yeah, it's really fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And we have already tracked, I'm looking at my stats now, but I've already gotten like entries for 17 different books.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a hate to love story, and so far it's really good. You're from Mexico. How cool! How late is it in Mexico then? If you're there, it must be in the middle of the night for you, right? I think. Oh, hate to love stories are good though. There's something about them, like hate to love, enemies to lovers. It's a lot
like
of fun.
The tension that exists in those kinds of situations is so fun to read, and like the banter and stuff. It's always very fun.
Exactly, the banter. And also there's always a part of them that's like, no, I don't want to fall for this person. Like they're trying really hard not to fall for that person, but then they still do. And like that internal battle is also usually quite a bit of fun.
Yeah. That's kind of like also what I like with, best friends to lovers. That is kind of like, I don't want to lose my best friend.
Oh, that's so tricky.
Yeah. Like those romances with like that kind of struggle is really fun.
I agree. 4 a.m.
Wow.
Darn. That's late. Are you up early or have you not gone to bed yet? That's the question.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. In Sweden, it's currently 11:10 a.m. So yeah, soon to be lunch,
Yeah.
possibly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, romance with a bit of a conflict.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I feel like. Yeah. Do you? I'm just curious, Kevin. What would you say are like your favorite sort of genres of books, and like, do you have a favorite books, perhaps that you would like to share with us? Anything that comes to mind?
I would say like my two favorite genres are science fiction and romance. Like there are a lot of books that are just like, I don't really know how to explain. Like I love books with a twist. So like for science fiction, I love The Humans by Haig, who a lot of people know for like the Midnight Library. Like The Humans is basically an alien who comes to Earth to eliminate a family, and he has to pretend to be the dad in the family. And so he learns about human stuff, and he's like, what are you doing? Like, what is the point of all of this? And like, it's really interesting to see humans from an alien perspective. And it's all, it has kind of like a list of advice to humans and stuff. And I really enjoy that as well. So I like the whole perspective on that book is really, really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then for romance, I'm a very like, I love I can't pick a favorite.
That's completely fine.
Yeah, there are a lot of like, I know that I have recommended like Dating Makes Perfect if you like YA
Oh
romance
yeah.
and like fake dating and childhood best friends to enemies to fake dating to lovers. Really,
Amazing.
really fun.
All the tropes.
Yeah. And like the love interest in that book, like you understand pretty quickly why he stopped being friends with our main character. And you're like, oh my God. And she is like, but we hate each other. And like, it's just such a fun book. It's available in Scribd as audiobook. It's really good. Like if you like YA romance and it is like about Thai, the both main characters are Thai, and our main character is like the main character and the love interest are Thai, and the main character comes from like a traditional Thai family, and so that's how the whole fake dating comes because she's not allowed to date for real, and it's just very fun. Like it's just such a fun ride. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah. What about you? Like favorite genres, books?
I think I'm like fantasy mainly, and I also really enjoy romances, like tropey romances. I would say like fake dating and the one bed trope and like cohabitation. Those are like my favorite ones. But I think fantasy is, I would say, my main favorite genre. Although I don't think I read the most fantasy. I read a lot of like contemporaries and like I've read some historical fiction and like a lot of variation throughout this last year. But like the ones I think of when I would say like, oh, what's my favorite book? Then that's probably a fantasy book. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like some favorites there, like the Poppy War, which I started reading last year. I love that series. It hits all the spots for me. Like it's fast paced, it's very strategic, very cool in that way. They have also the Assassin's Curse that I've talked about a lot, which is like the AYA with assassins and pirates, and it has all the fantasy elements you could ever wish for, but it does it in a really fun and also fast paced way. So yeah, books like that. But I've also like loved A Little Life, which is horrible but still a good book. and like Daisy Jones and the Six. So yeah, I feel like my taste is all over the place.
Yeah.
Typically. So, yeah. Oh, you have not slept yet. Well, let's see how long you last then. Or perhaps you're like the greatest night owl. Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. No, it is, yeah. I don't know. It's fun to just explore with books and like read different genres and stuff. I think that's really, really cool. And that's why I love readathons overall, because I do feel like I vary my reading quite a bit when I participate in readathons in order to fit certain prompts. So like you can't always find, if you love romances, you can't always find romances that fit a certain prompt. So you need to look at another genre or another type of book or something like that. So that's what makes it fun, I think, the variation.
Yeah, I agree. Like just trying new things, like finding new favorite genres and favorite books out of like comfort zone and stuff. That even though you love this genre, it's also like very fun to try other things so that you don't get sick of your favorite genre, because that is also like really unfortunate if that happens. So yeah.
And I just need to shout out, well, there are people watching, to check out Kevin's channel, because there's a lot of great content on there. And I think I have it linked in the description so you easily can access it. But like Kevin does different challenges monthly as well. Like I think right now you've been reading through the decades or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So like just a lot of like your reading is so varied. I feel like every single time you do a TBR or a wrap up, there's like everything and everywhere, which is amazing and like something I personally really enjoy. So
thank you.
To the ones watching, check out Kevin's channel. I need to shout it out. Feeling happy as Team Great Britain has made it through the final. So going to celebrate by starting Fight Keep a Starter. Woo! That's a great way to celebrate.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats to Great Britain. Amazing. So fun. I'm so excited about all the events, and once we get to the finals and stuff too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be very like hectic, I feel like.
Yeah.
Cover. Like so much to watch.
Yeah, and like we talked about it, like the time difference is a factor. So, like for us in Sweden, the airing time is mainly during the night and when most people work. So I'm a multitask and have like one screen at work so I can watch the Olympics. But yeah, so that's the only thing. Like it would have been nice if it were in during the evenings, possibly, but you can watch the highlights and stuff like that as well. So we'll make it work.
Yeah.
And I'm also going traveling by the end of the Olympics and the OlympicsAthon. So I'm getting a bit stressed about that now. Like, oh no, how will I multitask the Olympics and being on a plane and also reading? Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Czech Republic. I have family there. I have my grandmother and like cousins and uncles and stuff. So yeah, we booked a ticket and it will be so much fun actually to visit them. I haven't been there for a year. So yeah, it will be good to see them.
Yeah.
So it's usually very chill. They live in like a very small village, like outside a bigger town. So usually it's just hanging out, playing cards, eating my grandmother's food, stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm very happy that we can travel because we weren't really sure if we would even go. But then once we got to July, they started like allowing Swedes to go to Czech Republic, and I'm going with my mom and she's fully vaccinated. I've had my first shot and I've also had COVID already. So we feel fairly safe in that way. And also my family has had their vaccines and stuff. So it works out, which is good.
That's good.
Yeah. Have you had any summer plans or do you have any summer vacations planned?
My summer vacation ends in a week, and then it's back to full-time work. So that is going to be very weird. Going back, because, like, the first days we're going to end at 5 in the evening. So like from 8 to 5 is like the work day during like the last week of Olympics and OlympicsAthon. So I'm a little bit like, I don't really know how that will go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try at least to enjoy your final days of vacation then.
Yeah.
And do the most of it. That's good. I think we should go for another sprint, another timer. I don't know what you're feeling. I'm gonna suggest 30 minutes.
Yeah,
What do
that's
you think
good
of
for
that?
me.
And also, like, everyone, use these sprints if you need to like go to the bathroom, have a snack, grab a drink, whatever. You too, Kevin, you can turn off your camera if you like. And I'm ahead upstairs really quickly and handle a few things as well. But I think I will put the timer on for 30 minutes now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I also need to pick a new book then, because I finished my book. So after the next sprint, I'll talk about my new book that I picked. Let's see, 30 minutes. Okay. Good luck, everyone. Happy reading.
So how did it go?
Yeah, I started a new book.
Yeah, what book?
The Gilded Ones by Naomi Osaka. So I'm reading for the flag prompt because it has all the colors like black, green, blue, red on the like necklace and stuff, and yellow. And also for Africa because I believe the author is partly or entirely Nigerian, and it's inspired by like West African stories and myths and such as well. So yeah. And I think I read about 20 pages, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, so far not much to say about it. It has only started basically, but it is one of my most anticipated books actually for this year. So I am very excited to read it, but I'm also nervous because I don't think I've heard that much about it since it's been released, and some say that it reads a bit younger than they expected it to and such. So yeah, gonna have to see how I feel about it.
Yeah.
How did you do?
I continued reading. So I read like 30 pages, something like that.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah. Now a few things are happening, so that's kind of interesting.
Cool. Yeah. So you've gone past the introductions and stuff, and now the actual events are going on.
Yeah, we're kind of like moving into that part now. I feel like.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm reading Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, so everyone knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. I really enjoy like the whole like culture aspect to that. So we're both reading Africa, both reading Nigeria.
Yes.
Interesting.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And to those watching, please let us know if you're reading, and in that case, what you're reading and how much you read during the last sprint and such. So would love to know that. Yeah. How I know that you keep track of like traveling the world, like which countries you have visited when you do your wrap ups and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you read like African or African inspired literature before, and like how much of it would you say in comparison to other continents and such?
Yeah. I actually did kind of just for fun. I checked like statistics. I think I read like 6 books for Africa in total, or I visited 6 African countries. I don't remember which of those it was, but 6. I think it was 6 books in total. And the majority of them, only one of these books did not have anything to do with Nigeria. Yeah. So like one book I read was a graphic novel about like going a refugee story of going from like Ghana to Niger and through like Libya to Italy, and like a refugee journey, which was really like impactful as a graphic novel. Like that was really cool. It's called Illegal if anyone is interested. Like that book had 4 countries, none of them was Nigeria, and that is the only book that I read that was set in Africa that wasn't Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also feel like, because I try to track like the origin of the books I read and such, but I think it's so difficult because like, should I count it if the author was born in a country but then like at the age of 2 moved to the States, or should it be American, or should it be Chinese, or I think it's very difficult. But in my tracking I've also had some like what I classified as stems from Nigeria, I think, and that's because I read a couple of books by, I believe her name is Akwaeke Emesi, I might butcher that, but she's the one who wrote Pet and also The Death of Vivek Oji and like Freshwater, I think. So she has a few books, and I think I'm counting her as fully Nigerian because she lived there until she was like 15 or something, and like the books takes place in Nigeria or Nigeria inspired countries and such. So I'm fully counting them as that, and they're really good and really interesting.
Yeah.
So I do like them.
I think
see
it's very like fun to see all of that, like the countries,
Yeah,
like
I think it's very important.
and stuff.
Jenny
Ooh,
got up to chapter 4, 30 pages, while having the hockey on in the background, enjoying the writing so far. That's really good. Happy
yeah,
you're enjoying your read. Yeah, and hockey, it's a land hockey, right? Yeah.
yeah.
I have never watched land hockey, I think. I might need to give it a
Same.
go.
Like I always like if I hear hockey, I'm like ice hockey. Like we don't even
Yeah.
say hockey anymore in Sweden. We just say hockey.
Yeah. And also we have, I'm not sure, land hockey is not the same as bandy, right? We have
No.
in Sweden we have bandy or innebandy,
Yeah.
which is like similar, but I don't think they're the same. I think the balls and
Mhm.
like the clubs are different.
Yeah, I think so too. I have absolutely no idea. I think
Neither.
so, but I don't know.
Mm, yeah. Amanda read 30 pages. That's really good. Trying to clear your shelves, so the only book I could find related to sport was Hercule Poirot, Mystery with Golf in it.
Ooh.
Amazing. I mean, that's a really good one. And golf is an Olympic sport, so
Mhm.
totally works.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to read some Poirot and Agatha Christie. I haven't, but I would really like to give it a go. They
Yeah.
sort of feel like something you should read. I think we've discussed this in your comments as well. Like there are certain authors that is like you should read. Should of course only if you're interested. But like Stephen
Yeah.
King, Nicholas Sparks, like those typical in their genres.
Yeah. And like Agatha Christie, I feel like has like the whole like murder mystery. It's like a lot of people know
Yeah.
her, and a lot of her stuff has been filmatized and stuff. And she's like, if you talk about an author who does murder mystery, you usually think, oh, her. So I think
Yeah.
definitely is an author that I would love to read someday.
Same. And I do like those sort of like murder mysteries and stuff, and just mysteries in general. I started watching Lupin with like the
Yeah.
show on Netflix, which is like a French show inspired by Arsène Lupin, which was this gentleman thief.
Yeah.
It's also a book. And yeah, I just really like those sort of vibes in books and shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yannick tracks her books by continent. That is really good. That's perhaps an easy way to do it in some ways, I think, because
Yeah.
it's also so difficult to figure out the
Ooh.
exact country someone is from sometimes.
Yeah. Like with my, like I have a board with countries visited in books in 2021, and I put like if there is like multiple books that I have read, like I read one book about the Sami, and it was folk tales from all over the Nordic. So I was like, oh, Finland, Norway, Sweden, like all.
Ah,
So I didn't have to put that specific book in a specific country. So like I just put all the countries onto the board.
that's smart.
Yeah. So I think like if I would like I did that when I sorted my bookshelves. I was like, maybe I can do countries, and then oh no. So continents is like a lot easier. Usually also like travel books, it's usually in one continent that you don't travel to
True.
then to South Korea. You travel to
True.
Greece, then maybe to Italy. Like it's usually in one continent, I think. So
Yeah,
that is
that makes
very
sense.
smart to do.
Yeah, because I've struggled. I have a spreadsheet that I use, and there you can only put one country. And there's also cases like, well, they're in multiple countries. What should I do? Because there is, I have one column for like where the book is from, which is, I think, is what's difficult to
Yeah.
define. But then I added another column myself, like where the book takes place, because I wanted to keep track of that as well, because there will be a difference between the two. But then I can only put one place.
Yeah.
And that's also like, well, they went to 4 different countries. Which one do I pick?
Yeah.
And such. So yeah, but it's good to just like, yeah, travel within books. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think that's like a lot. It's a very fun thing to do, a way of like learning, especially when it's by a person from that country. Like you see
Mm,
their world from their eyes. I think that's
yeah,
really fun to do. Yeah.
I agree. So Amanda's kids play hockey. It's really big in the Netherlands. Oh, cool. But this must be the land hockey, or is it called field hockey, perhaps? Perhaps field hockey. I don't know. I'm so confused by this sport, unfortunately. But if it's big in the Netherlands, hopefully you have a team in the Olympics then, right?
Yeah.
You should. That's fun to follow.
Yeah.
And you read 16 pages. Really good. Really, really good.
I feel like we're all making progress.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Oh, hockey was your main sport at school. This seems to be quite big then.
Like, do you have school sport, like a sports team for the school? That is something that very confuses me, how that works. I have no idea. Like, we don't have that, as far as I know.
Yeah, okay, field hockey. It's the same hockey that's in the, what's it called? We ride upon sticks. The witchy field hockey one, I think. Okay, the same sport. It should be cool.
Is it like ice hockey, but not on ice? Or is it like on, like, I'm curious about that. Like, how different is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in my head, I'm comparing it to bandy, but I think they are different, actually.
Yeah. Like indoor bandy.
Yeah. Yeah, but we also didn't really, neither elementary school, high school, or university, we really had like school sports. I think at university we did have, you could join like different associations, and one association was for ice hockey and football. And, like you could have like a team in that way, but it's not like those sort of like typical school sports you see in mostly American movies, I guess, and stuff. That's not really a thing I've had, at least during my education.
Yeah, like for me, I didn't even think that was real. Like when I watch, American movies, teen movies, I was like, they're just doing this for plot, like it's like it's just because how do we incorporate sports? We do so the team, the school has a team.
Yeah.
It's actually accurate, and that's really cool.
Yeah. Very different. Okay, so basically ice hockey, but no protection.
So it's as physical. Oh my god.
And not on ice, I'm guessing.
And not on ice. I don't know how it would work when they run. Like,
I tend to track by author nationality, but have no skills for any of other countries. Yeah, that's the thing. Like author nationality, I find it so difficult. Yeah. Actually. So I don't really, as I said, I have a spreadsheet where I track all my reading, and like some categories will have like a certain like error in it because it's so difficult to know. Same thing with like if you're trying to track like queer representation in books and amongst author, like if it's not obvious, or if it's not like perhaps in the author notes or like on the Goodreads site or something that the author is in some way queer, like it's very difficult to know and find out, and like you can't really dig into someone's personal life. So yeah, same thing there. My guess is that my stats for how many LGBTQIA plus authors I read is not really correct to the reality, because I simply don't know, and I'm not gonna spend my time and like really dig into someone's personal life either.
Yeah. Like I feel like a lot of people, especially trans people, I've realized or noticed, also bi people, like people who are bisexual, that not a lot of people actually write their identity, because like trans people, I am a guy, and not I am a trans guy, which I think like it's like both are true.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you have like this author is tagged as trans, and you read the author note and it's I'm a guy, like it's not explicitly stated, but if you have to like Google and find, then you find out that that person is trans, for example.
Yeah, there's different ways to find out. I remember I read a romance, a queer romance, and the author was a woman, and she in her thank note she was like, and thank you to my wife, and like, well, you're something at least. Like, About hockey. My school had a number of teams and we competed against other teams across Scotland. Wow.
Wow.
Impressive.
How big was the school?
Yeah, that's also something that matters, right?
How can one school have like was it a huge school? Like how many people went to that school? Is my
But
question.
you're also like from smaller towns, right, Kevin? So perhaps your
Yeah.
perception of like a big school is different from others' perception of a big school.
Yeah, like my entire town that I come from had 2,000 people. And I've had like people, and it was outside of Gothenburg, so it doesn't make any sense.
Oh.
But it had like 2,000 people, and then I've talked to other people. Like we had people from like the US came to visit us at the school I work at just to talk about the US, and they said like their school, their high school had over 2,000 people. And I was like, that's my entire town. That's like my hometown. 2,000 people,
Yeah.
like our school was like one place from kindergarten to ninth grade. Like that was one place. So you could like
wow.
go on recess and have like kids over there. So it was like very compact school. So this is like really not what I'm used to, I guess.
Yeah. I've gone to school in Stockholm, like outskirts of Stockholm, but still. So actually, my high school did have 2,000
Oh my
students, I
God.
think, or close to that at least. But that's
Yeah.
because we had like so many different, I guess, I don't like programs, I guess. Like you could, yeah, you could either read like nature science, but you could also do like, we had the hairdressing program and we also had like the electronics program, like everything. So I think that's why it was so huge, but it's not typical that it is that size. Like I think that was one of the bigger high schools,
Yeah.
I think, in the
I
area
think
at least.
Stockholm and Gothenburg have like, I didn't go to school in Gothenburg, so I don't know, but like I think that if you go to a popular school in Gothenburg or around Gothenburg and Stockholm, it's like probably a lot of people, because that's where the majority, like when it comes to cities, that's where the vast majority of people live. Like 1 million people in Stockholm only. That's a tenth of Sweden. So like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. Okay, and it was not through school. They said like, okay, yeah,
That's how it
makes
is
sense
here.
then. Yeah, that's more common. Yeah, no, my school was huge. My school had probably had double our town.
Oh my God.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Can you even imagine that many people in like one or a couple of buildings?
No. Like I hope that wasn't like just one building. Like that has to be like 5.
Then it makes sense that you had enough of students to have a field hockey team at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I guess you could have like your own arena in that way too.
Yeah, you must have.
Like, is it popular to go and watch school teams, like that kind of games? Like, is that popular to do? Like, instead of going to watch like adults play, you can watch students play.
Yeah, let us know, because in Sweden, I don't think it's that, at least if it's like a school event or like if you're competing for the school, that's not a thing really. But like basing my judgment on American movies, that seems to be a thing. But regarding like the rest of the world, we would love to know.
Yeah.
It's such a different sports culture in that way. Or I think sports culture is very similar between countries. Like the core of it is very similar, but like how it's executed with like either school teams or clubs or however, that seems to be what differs a lot.
Yeah.
Oh wow. The school was separated into 2 sites, and it had kids from age 4 to 17 across them. Wow. Okay, so it was like, okay, Okay, so from elementary school and all the way up, basically.
Yeah. Kind of like my town, but with double the amount of people. Like we had 100 people from kindergarten to 9th grade in total. So that was like 100 people in my school.
But like for kindergarten to 9th grade, that's
school.
not even 10 people in each year.
No, there were only 10 in my grade. So me and my older sister is 1 year older than me. We were squished together in a class.
Okay, because I went to a somewhat bigger like elementary and school as well. So like I think we were like about 20 people in one class. But for example, year 2 had 2 classes, year 5 had 2 classes, so it was like 40 people in 1 year. But then from 6th grade to 9th, there were actually 6 classes with about 20 people in them. So I guess that makes 120 per.
Oh my god!
Year. Yeah, it's so interesting to hear how it differs, even within like Sweden, which I would consider is a small country, but there's still some major differences in how it looks like depending on where you live.
I think that's so interesting. Also, like as someone who lives in northern half of Sweden currently, my school, the school that I teach in, has 60 students only, and it's an upper secondary school. And that is very strange to a lot of people. That's like one school with 60 students. Like how work. But it's like I think it's really interesting to see like all the differences that we have around the world, but also like in our own communities and stuff.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's really fun just to compare and see how it is. Oh, cool. Should we perhaps go for another sprint? How are you doing? How are you feeling? Yeah, I think I'm aiming at continuing until the 1 o'clock here in Sweden. So I don't know how much that is where everyone is, but yeah. So for another like 45 minutes or something like that, we'll keep up with this live show, I think. But perhaps we can do like squeeze in 2 smaller sprints just for fun. So perhaps we'll do like a quarter one now, and then we can talk, and then we can perhaps do like a very quick, perhaps a 10-minute one, and then just finalize everything and such.
Yeah.
Does that sound all right?
That sounds good.
Cool. I just got another card. Okay, Amanda wants to know what you teach.
I teach Swedish and English. So, yeah.
Cool, amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen again. So let's go for a 15-minute sprint and then check in back, and then a final 10-minute at the end. So oh no, something happened. Whoops. Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do our most with these last few sprints that we have. And yeah, happy reading, everyone.
Yeah, good luck.
Hi.
Hi. How did it go?
It went all right for me. I think I read 18 pages. So yeah. So far, it's like I'm still getting into it. I feel like it reads very quickly, but I don't feel like I'm like what's the word, like I guess capturing all I'm reading yet. But I do think as the plot develops and things get like you get more into the actual story, I hope that I will feel more connected to the story.
Yeah. It's quite a large book, right? Like relatively long.
Yeah, it's over 400 pages at least. So, and I'm on page 40 now. So, I mean, only a 10th through. Yeah. How did it go for you?
I read around like 15 pages. Slowly
That's really good.
into it. Not a lot of things are happening, but what I really enjoy is the whole like learning about what it's like to live there, because it's mainly focused on that, which I kind of enjoy. It feels kind of like a cozy read in that way.
That's good.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's a difficult read or is it quite easy to keep up with?
Like I think I would say that I don't know if it would have been easier to read this in English. I think so. Like the original language is English, and this is translated to Swedish. So, like, there are words that they use in Swedish that I feel like this book was translated quite a while ago. Yeah, so that's kind of what makes it. I don't think the book was translated like in the 1900s, but it's like for the language of it, that's how it reads. Like,
Okay, I see.
yeah, I feel like in Sweden that when one book is translated, it's not translated again by another person. That you stick with the translation you have, especially if it's not like, Shakespeare or like that kind of book or that kind of work that is a classic and is extremely popular, that you're okay with like retranslating it with a new person. But there's kind of like old Swedish words, and that's a little bit difficult to get into. Like there is, like they use the word feed that is the same as giving birth to, föda. And I was very confused because it was like, you feed your mother, which also means you're feeding your father. But in Swedish, I was like, du föder din moder och sen föder du din fader.
Okay.
Swedish, it both means you feed your mother and so you feed your father, but it also means you give birth to your mother and so you give birth to your father. And I like that is also like föda in like feeding is an old word. We use mata now. Like we don't really use that word in that case.
No.
So I was like, you give birth to your mother, which means you give birth to your father.
Doesn't really work that way, no.
No. So like there are those instances and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. I personally struggle a bit with like older Swedish. Like I know that in school when we had to read like Swedish classics and stuff, that wasn't really my thing because I didn't like reading it. So yeah, that I sort of feel like with the translation prompt, the bonus prompt in this readathon, it's both an opportunity and a risk and a challenge in some ways, because like I think it's very interesting. It's an opportunity to try and read books that actually stem from different countries. For example, if you're reading a Spanish book that was translated to English or something like that. But also it so much depends on the translation. And like some books are simply not translated well. Like it depends so much. So yeah, that's what can be really, really difficult as well. And some emotions and things that the author is trying to express may not actually be translated in the translated edition. So that's also something that can be a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, like there are words in one language that doesn't exist in another language.
Exactly.
Yeah, so in that way, I am very impressed at every translator because that has to be hard work to translate a book, especially when it's from another culture or another country. And like for some people, like in Sweden, a lot of the Swedish translators who translate from English to Swedish, they have English as a second language, which means that they are translating their second language into their first language, which also means that there are like knowledge, you know, in your first language that you can't translate to a second. So doing that the opposite way is also very like difficult, I think.
Yeah. It's tough work, but someone's gonna do it. Fortunately for us.
Yeah.
Jenny says, this is such a coincidence. This book has a massive connection to hockey, although ice hockey, and they have already mentioned the Olympics. Cool, that's perfect.
Wow.
That's perfect. Which book was it now again?
Was that like the fire?
Oh, Firekeeper story, yeah.
I think.
Wow, it was a ice hockey on Olympics.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did not expect. Actually.
But I assume it's like Winter Olympics in that way, maybe.
Yeah, must be.
Ice hockey, I guess.
Yeah, that's winter.
Yeah.
Oh, good then.
That's kind of like the irony. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. There should have been a challenge as well to just like find a book that mentions the Olympics, but I feel like that would be too difficult.
Yeah, I feel like the safe bet there would be like reading a memoir from someone.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you competed in the like if Usain Bolt has a memoir. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Find an athlete's memoir. Yeah. I think for when it was the Eurovision-athon in like May, I think one of the challenges there was to read, or perhaps not. No, it wasn't a challenge, but like I think one of the recommended books or the team books was a book that mentioned the Eurovision. Like there were a couple of safe books that mentioned the Eurovisions, and because they mentioned the Eurovisions, every single country that competes in the Eurovision was in the book, so you could count that for basically any country you wanted to, I think.
Yeah.
So that's good to have those books that kind of works for everything, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Do you have any exciting plans for the weekends following this sprint and all?
No, not actually.
I'm going to continue to chill and read.
Yeah, that is my entire plan. Just take it easy and do a lot of reading.
And watch the Olympics.
That's like the weird thing that it's in like the first 12 hours, you know, of the day, that there is nothing in the afternoon really.
Nothing to watch.
Which feels really weird. Like usually I feel like for us, when you watch sports, it's in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So that's
it was this way with the European Championship that was just now in football. Everything was like from 3 o'clock and later, like sometimes even 9 in the evening. It was so fun because the last few games, they started so late at 9, and basically all of them were extended. Like they had to add the extra 30 minutes and also do
the penalty.
Exactly, the penalties. So everyone always went to bed so late because they stayed up and watched the penalties and the extensions and all. So my colleagues at work were always so tired and like, oh, not another penalty. Darn it. I want to go to bed. So this is very different from that.
Yeah, now it's early mornings instead.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need to log on at 10 a.m. to watch a sport or something, or even earlier.
Yeah, I have like with handball, I have a few games coming up at 4 a.m. So that is going to be very interesting.
Do you plan on going to bed, setting a timer for 4 and then go back to bed, or how will you do it?
I have a very hard time. Like if I go up, I have a very hard time going back to sleep. So I feel like also if I would watch on my computer in bed, I would just fall asleep. So I feel like I have to wake up at 4 And then I can like continue that. And so when I start work, I get to have like a longer, you know, sleeping until 7 instead, which usually feels like you're waking up earlier, but now it's going to be like I have a lot more like time.
Oh, that's good then. Yeah.
So
You'll have to go to sleep perhaps a tad bit earlier the next few days in
Yeah.
order to be somewhat rested at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Should we do the final 10-minute sprint, and then we'll just do some final chatting and summarize how our reading has gone, and so, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Final 10 minutes, everyone. Do the most you can, or just continue to chill if you like. Completely up to you. Yeah. Okay, good luck. Let's go.
Yay.
Hello.
Hi.
So, time's up. How did everyone do? And also summarize how you've done throughout these last almost 3 hours. Kevin, let's start with you. How much did you read in the last 10 minutes and then in total?
And I've read around like 7 pages this last 10 minutes, 50 pages in total, which I think is great.
That is amazing. That's really good.
Yes, I'm almost at the 100-page mark now, which is very, like, I always feel like it has such a huge thing when you pass 100. So like when you pass 100, like, oh.
I agree. The reaching the 100 pages marks throughout the book is amazing. How long is the book that you're reading?
360 pages.
Okay. Yeah, well, getting closer to it then. Amazing.
What is good is that the last 30 or 40 pages is an essay. So it's not part of the book. So, yeah.
I love it when that happens.
Like with that acknowledgements and stuff, when it takes up a big chunk of the book, it's like, thank you.
Yeah, I listened to a while back. I listened to the book To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, which is like a really, really, really long audiobook. It's 32 hours.
Oh my God.
Which is insane.
Wow.
But like the final 1.5 hours of the book was like an appendix explaining stuff and an interview with the author. So suddenly I reached the end and was like, oh wait, it's over, I'm done. That was very pleasing. I was very happy with that.
Yeah. It was always like a nice surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think I read almost 10 pages in these final minutes. As I said, it's a very quick book in that way, and I'm also like not thinking that much about what I'm reading yet. So I think that's why I can rush through it a bit. And in total, I read 50 pages in this one. But I also did the graphic novel, the defense one, which also is like a very quick read. You basically just scroll through each page, you kind of look at it, or I don't know, I guess people read graphic novels differently, but for me, I don't look that much because I do feel like I still get the images in my head of what's happening. So it depends on the art as well, though, like how much you want to just look at the art and what's going on. So I feel like this has been a very successful sprinting session.
You finished a book.
I finished another prompt done. I'm gonna need to put it into the tracking form and all and update my thread on Twitter and such. So that's really fun.
Yeah.
Jenny finished Hodgin Murders and have done 81 pages of Five Keepers' Daughter. That's amazing. And also watched the Olympics, of course.
Yeah. Well, multitasking.
Incredible. Yeah. Amazingly done. Great start to the day as well. So now a lunch and then continue. Super cool. Amanda read 54 pages in total. That's also amazing. Great job. Everyone's doing such amazing progress.
Yeah.
5 pages now and 89 pages in total. Also incredible.
Wow. Yeah.
You've all done so great. It's so good to see this. I love when you're tallying up like all the smaller sprints into like the total session and such, and you see how far you've gone. It's so cool. Yeah. This has been a lot of fun and like really productive, but also just like fun to chat and stuff. I think it's so nice.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Elia read 50 pages. First time on one of the sprints. Well, I hope you will join sometime again in the future and also join other sprints. They are constantly going on YouTube. Just search for reading sprints or see what shows up in your subscription box, and I can promise you that there's always reading sprints going on for many different purposes. So that's really fun.
And sometimes it's fun, I think, also too, if you find someone that is like, oh, I like this booktuber and they have done a sprint in the past that you haven't seen, that is also kind of like interesting because it feels like it's live even though it's not. But like
Yeah,
that
exactly.
too.
Yeah, you can always rewatch them. This one will be like, it will be on my YouTube channel and you can rewatch it. I also hosted one last Wednesday, so you can rewatch that one if you'd like. So you can use them as like productivity sprints or reading sprints or whatever. So yeah,
Yeah.
very beneficial and multi-use, I would say. But yeah, Kevin, to just like as an ending note of this, is there something you would like to, I don't know, promote or share with anyone? Or I've said before, you all should check out Kevin's channel, of course. Link should be in the description box. But is there anything else you would like to share?
Like first of all, I would just like thank everyone who joined. Like it's been really fun to read your comments and chat with all of you and like hear what you're reading and all of that, you know. And I don't know, like if you enjoyed us talking, if you enjoy like I don't know, if you think it was fun and you would like to see more of me in particular, you can check out my YouTube channel where I mostly talk about books and other things sometimes, but usually it's books.
Yeah, Kevin's channel is great. They have like you have a TBR Yahtzee game that you always play,
Yeah.
and like you do great reading vlogs on different topics. And as I said before, reads a wide variety of books, so it's all very interesting. And yeah, just a lot of fun and a cozy time. So, and thank you so much for helping me out today and hosting and having these discussions and talks. It's been so much fun just getting to know you and also getting to know the ones that joined in the comments and such. So it's been incredible. Yeah, definitely. And it's so cool to see all the progress we're making in this readathon. And yeah, just to see everyone hang out and talk about things, maybe. So yeah, I'll hope that there will be perhaps a couple of more reading sprints throughout the readathon. We'll see how it works out with the planning, but I will announce them on both the Twitter and on the Discord. So please check out those channels and like information channels if you want to participate in the next few reading sprints as well. And yeah, I think that should be it. So thank you to everyone that has joined. It is really appreciated. I hope you had fun. Elia says thanks. Have a good day. Good day to you too. Hugs to everyone. And yeah, remember to take care as well. Take care of yourselves and just enjoy and hopefully have a nice rest of the weekend too. Okay, so I'm gonna end this broadcast, but thanks to everyone. And once again, thank you, Kevin, so much. I'll talk to you later.
Yes.
Take care, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.